You did not come upon this trail by chance. It's yours since you were designed for it. You are picked not by happenstance, but because of the unmistakable brightness you radiate. That light is strong. It demands attention, evokes wonder, and, sure, causes some discomfort. The fact that forces attempt to upset you is evidence of your power. They perceive what you may yet be finding. You're unstoppable. This is your chance to rise, to claim your authority, and to openly embrace the reality of who you are. Let us delve deep and discover the unstoppable power that is you beyond what the eye can perceive. A fierce and unrelenting conflict rages. A battle on an aircraft between invisible entities seeking control. You are not only a participant, you are a major character in this invisible conflict, a beacon of light that pierces the complex webs of deception woven over decades. These forces do not function on the periphery. They thrive on the confusion and uncertainty of people who are unprepared to face them. Nonetheless, your unshakable determination cuts through their distortions. You are the keen point of insight, piercing through their veils and revealing their plans. These shadow beings, who rely on fear and division, fail as you remove their power. Their counterattacks try to shake your foundation, causing uncertainty and confusion. But they underestimate your fortitude. Every step you take toward the truth weakens their grasp, causing them to withdraw into the vacuum. Your waking causes tremors in the structures they have long supported, and your clarity becomes a light they can't dim. Their terror intensifies as your awareness improves, because they recognize the inevitability of their breakdown. You're not here by chance. You're here to disrupt, deconstruct, and shed light on the darkest places. Allow this truth to anchor you. You are not a victim of their machinations, but rather the cause of their downfall. Speak freely. Light always triumphs. The instability surrounding you is not indicative of your failure. It is the shattering of their well-constructed illusions. These troops do not target people who represent no danger. Their desperation highlights the strength of your presence. Every attempt they make to divert or discourage you demonstrates the power you have. Join the trip. Subscribe now, and let's make greatness happen. As their power dwindles, the areas they previously commanded are flooded with the light of comprehension and the strength of resistance. Your entire existence undermines their dominion, and every decision you make in pursuit of truth accelerates the process. As a result, the turmoil they cause is not the conclusion of your story. It's your victory in motion. Stand steady because their unraveling is proof of your effect, and their retreat heralds the arrival of a new order they cannot resist. You are a driving force behind a great awakening. The floods of consciousness are rising, tearing down the walls of an ancient, collapsing kingdom. The increasing opposition you meet is no coincidence. It's the thrashing of a waning power, frantically attempting to keep control. This is a time of inexorable metamorphosis, similar to when a dam breaks. The fissures are obvious. The structure is deteriorating, and the truth you represent is the current, washing everything away. Victory is not a faraway hope. It's happening right now, with small fissures emerging around their barriers. You are not a victim of their machinations, because to the quiet strength you've developed and the combined force of others waking with you, you are the agent of their downfall. The end of their rule is already written in the clarity you provide. There are echoes of the past that return in new and insidious ways. Faces you once knew, whose chapters seemed closed, reappear in novel shapes woven into the fabric of invisible forces attempting to test your will. These forces, channeled via persons you formerly trusted, are not acting by happenstance. These are purposeful infiltrations. Attempts to manipulate the ties you held dear, which were previously bonds of camaraderie, are now utilized as disruptive instruments aimed to exploit your openness and hence bewilderment. Their appearance is deliberate, a shadow play designed to instill doubt, redirect your attention inside, and disrupt the momentum you've established. But their strategies fail in the face of your unwavering clarity. You have evolved beyond their influence. Untouchable in your eyes, their intended weapons become reflections of their own weakness, their attempts evaporating like smoke against the unshakable basis of your advancement. Each effort to destabilize you reveals their desperation, a final gasp from a force incapable of comprehending the power of your light. You continue ahead, unaffected by their meddling. They are strengthened by their clarity and resilience, which cannot be corrupted or overcome. This is your opportunity to ascend uncontested, a beacon of change. They are incapable of extinguishing. There are forces that would want you to feel they have control over you, but the reality is more simpler and more freeing. These meetings are just distractions. Their attempts to distract your attention are like shadows created by items that have already passed, formless and transient. The faces you know are no longer allies, but rather echoes seeking to inform you of what you have outgrown. Their appearances, whether in dreams or in waking thinking, are not accidental. These are intentional operations by spirits that feed on your reservations and misgivings. The disquiet you're experiencing, the weight pressing on your soul, is not a sign of weakness. It's all about awareness, the sharpness of your perception, which alerts you to invasion efforts, as well as the clarity you've developed. Their cunning approaches cannot sustain the momentum of your development. Each effort simply strengthens your commitment. Dear brothers and sisters, God's peace be with you. Today, I am here to remind you of a deep fact. Our existence is based on God's divine design, which is unaffected by worldly worries. According to the Bible, everything is done with faith will be returned to God with great blessing. Luke 638. Like the enormous oak tree, our roots are profoundly embedded in God's global truth. His power secures every stride and every stance we take. And now you have the chance to be a part of that gift. When you utilize the Super Thank You button and contribute $100, your generosity will be reciprocated 100-fold in your everyday life. Subtle cues reveal their intents. Repetition of symbols, transient recollections of former connections, and recognizable patterns are not random events. They are threads being tugged to keep you in locations you have already passed beyond. These forces are not intended to lead you. They're here to drain you. The vitality they portray stems from their reluctance to address internal stagnation. Their reasons are tangled in unhealed hurts and disappointed aspirations. They mistakenly believe they are entitled anything from your adventure. What people see as a debt is really their dread, demonstrating a failure to confront their own shadows. These endeavors stem from desperation rather than strength. They regard your progress as a mirror, reflecting their own faults. And instead of pursuing their own road to light, they want to darken yours. Jealousy and resentment drive their acts, not because you have damaged them, but because your ascent reminds them of the options they have eschewed. Their suffering is not your responsibility to bear. You do not owe them your accomplishments, energy, or tranquility. This is just the beginning. Subscribe today and become a part of something amazing. Be steadfast in the light of your knowledge, knowing that these distractions have no power over your clarity. Their acts do not reflect your weakness, but rather their own internal instability. Every effort to bring you back emphasizes how far you've come. What they don't realize is that your progress is unstoppable. The shadows cannot flourish in the midst of your truth because they are free of their hold, and their desperation can never overcome your clarity. You are not here to get sucked into their anguish. You came here to transcend it. Allow their attempts to dissipate like mist in the early light as you go onward. Stronger, clearer, and completely unshaken. The Lord is my rock, stronghold, and deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I seek shelter. Psalm 18 to image a massive castle perched atop a hill, its walls impenetrable. Its gates are impenetrable. This castle is you, constructed on the challenges you've faced and fortified by the knowledge you've learned. Those who wish to disturb your calm are unable to climb these walls. Their words of doubt and discord are like pebbles on stone, helpless against the refuge you've built inside. Their attempts do not reflect your weakness, but rather the force they fear in you. Your first step is to reclaim your space. Imagine your energy as a brilliant shield, illuminating with the light of heavenly protection and clear purpose. Sever any residual threads that point to what steals your energy. Each connection you sever releases you, leaving just clarity and power. Anchor yourself in the present now, pulling steadiness from the ground underneath you, as if the earth absorbs the interruptions and replaces them with balance and peace. Let go of the feelings they're trying to exploit against you. Guilt, rage, and duty. These are shackles that they use to keep you bound to the past. Let them go. Guilt ties you to expectations that were never intended for you. Anger keeps you stuck in settings you've outgrown. Even attachment must be relinquished, since it develops a stronghold in your soul. Their instability is not your responsibility to bear, and you are not responsible for their behavior. Stand steadfast in your freedom and declare with confidence, "No chain can hold me, no power can darken my light, and no shade can obscure my truth." Your shelter is safe, your energy unbreakable, and your mission unstoppable. Move forth with unflinching confidence, knowing that you are sovereign and home. This is your opportunity to rise, to seize the strength and clarity that are properly yours. Nothing can draw you back. You are unshakable, unmistakable, and meant to rise. Someone once invaded your life. Their presence is shrouded in love and concern. On the surface, they look like everything. A good ally should be attentive, accessible, and helpful. But when a true need arose, their absence screamed louder than words. It started as a whisper, a feeling in your heart that something was wrong before your head could identify it. One night, a vivid dream depicted their form in the distance. They remained still, watching quietly, a passive presence that seemed more exhausting than soothing. Upon awakening, I realized that energy was not neutral. It was softly eating yours, feeding off your brightness while giving nothing in return. A closer look showed the reality. Every good remark and action had been premeditated, based on self-serving motives rather than mutual connection. You chose silent detachment over rage or conflict. The energy bonds were cut, and boundaries were set so firmly that no words were required. They vanished as silently as they came, and the weight lightened in their absence. The clarity and lightness that replaced them demonstrated the soundness of your choice. This is your time. Subscribe now, and let us work together to achieve greatness. Take a time to consider what could still be clinging to you, draining your energy or clouding your vision. You can't shake the tiredness, and the nightmares linger long after you wake up. Increased awareness to your environment. These are not unintentional inconveniences. They are signs that your body is recalibrating itself. Your energy is moving, shedding old mismatched vibrations to make way for something purer, more in tune with who you are becoming. The emotional turmoil you may be experiencing is not a sign of fragility, but of growth. Each wave of intensity functions as a cleansing, removing what is no longer useful to you. Let go of the guilt. It was never your responsibility to release animosity. It just holds you to something you've previously outgrown. With each boundary created and tether eliminated, you become more aligned with your best self. This is your moment to go ahead unhindered as your energy clears and your path becomes unmistakable. Your presence is not typical, nor is your trip. Experiences convert your gifts into exceptionally precise instruments. Every hardship and battle with invisible forces sharpens your spiritual powers, converting raw potential into experienced mastery. These obstacles are not unplanned diversions. They are purposeful milestones that lead to increased awareness and power. Each hurdle serves as an encouragement to soar higher, to completely embrace your job. Rest is no longer a luxury, but rather a holy area in which your energy recharges and your inner strength consolidates. Accept these changes as they eliminate the unneeded, leaving you sharper, clearer, and more connected with your mission. Your talents do not develop passively. It is fashioned in the flames of resistance. Every challenge challenges your commitment, honing your discernment and expanding your connection to the divine as your intuition grows. It becomes a guiding force, breaking through the illusions that previously obscured your view. Your link to higher worlds grows not as a transitory experience, but as a consistent flow of insight and guidance. Patterns arise around you, synchronicities that function as heavenly signposts, affirming that every step forward is for a bigger cause than yourself. These are not coincidences, but confirmations that your path is led and your evolution is deliberate. Each struggle uncovers a deeper depth of your resilience, reinforcing your sense of authority and responsibility. The challenges you endure are preparations, not punishments, taking away the surface to uncover the core of who you are. This isn't about establishing your value. It's about claiming the talents that are naturally yours. Your mission evolves into something more than just a notion. It solidifies into a force that motivates, connects, and empowers you. Declare it boldly. Strength swells inside me. Feel the reality behind those words. Take root when your abilities manifest as transformational tools rather than privileges. No external force can undo what is happening inside you. Your goods aren't delicate. They are rooted in something unshakable. These encounters will test your strength and clarity to the fullest extent possible. Stand steadfast on this knowledge. You are not only growing, your metamorphosis is apparent, and your abilities demonstrate a purpose that no darkness can deny. Step forth with confidence, knowing that you are not only powerful, but also predestined for this path. The supernatural operates through you unstoppably and undeniably. Do not be fooled. God is not mocked by whatsoever a man does. So he will reap. Galatians 6 verse 7. Imagine a farmer sowing seeds over a field. The soil is neutral. It just multiplies whatever is sown. Good seeds generate an abundant crop, whereas poor seeds produce thorns and weeds that strangle the earth. This is the truth about the invisible regions. Every thought and deed is a seed planted in the rich soil of spiritual law. The energy you unleash does not disappear. It returns, enlarged, to its source. Balance is neither postponed nor denied. It is certain. Those who behave maliciously in order to derail your ascent unwittingly sow the seeds of their own destruction. Their deeds circle back with relentless power, shattering the illusions they believed were impenetrable. This is not about retribution. It's all about alignment. The energy they used to hurt others returned to them, carrying the devastation they intended to unleash. Secrets come to light, facades shatter, and the storms they produced rage on in their own lives. They have the responsibility for the consequences of legislation. They dare to reject the changes you sense. Is the universe altering the rules? Setting unbreakable boundaries around your mission. You are no longer bound by out-of-date contracts. You have progressed to a higher alignment. What seemed to be murmurs of resistance have faded in the midst of your brightness. Move forth with confidence. The interference is no match for the universal rules that guide your development. Let the storms they generated rage where they will, while you walk with serenity and purpose, unaffected by their mayhem. Your path is evident. Your ascension is inevitable, and your brightness is relentless. The natural order assures that every action is consistent with the justice of balance, ensuring your ascent with absolute surety. The natural rhythm of balance is re-establishing itself, acknowledging the transformational effort that has led you here. You are not beyond the grasp of difficulties because you avoid them. You ascend above them by aligning your soul with the greater order. The agreements that formerly made you vulnerable have been revised, replacing fragility with strengthened strength. This move is more than simply a protection. It is a declaration of your sovereignty. Walk ahead with unwavering confidence, knowing that the global order is now working in your favor to ensure your success. Watch as the carefully guarded facts of people who have worked against you are revealed, shattering their previously impenetrable facades. Now shatter beneath the inevitability of truth. This isn't retribution. It represents the balance of something that was never sustainable. Their decisions reverberate back to them, intensified by the cosmic principles they attempted to influence. What they sold in secret returns with irrefutable power, shattering the illusions they worked so hard to preserve. As their underpinnings erode, so does their confidence. The forces they unleashed to hurt you have turned into an uncontrolled flood, engulfing their lives. Their actions reverberate, resulting in defeats, discoveries, and an insurmountable mess. The demise of their well-manufactured egos is not yours to lament. It is the unavoidable consequence of an imbalance correcting itself. The natural order has transformed, resulting in a situation in which their deceptions are untraceable, winnable, and your purpose unstoppable. This is the weight of purpose in action influencing the world around you. Your presence, as a beacon of increased energy, distorts their perception of reality. It unsettles and confuses, creating an unnamed tension. In their limited vision, you are no longer regarded as a person, but rather as a force that bends the structures they formerly thought were unchangeable. Their view is distorted, as they are unable to match what you represent with what they understand. You seem like something out of reach, both captivating and unsettling. This dissonance leads people to face certain elements of themselves. They have long hidden powerful feelings that they are unable to completely express. Some consider you an inspiration, while others see you as a danger. However, all reactions stem from internal conflict. Their reluctance to connect with your presence suggests a struggle to reconcile who they are with what they perceive in you. In their views, you are reduced to the status of an abstraction and dehumanized notion, allowing them to justify their acts without responsibility. It is simpler for them to justify damage against a phantom than to confront the indisputable fact of your expansion and impact. But this, too, is part of the changing equilibrium. You do not need to change their perspective since it represents more of their inner turmoil than the truth about you. You stand unshaken, a monument to the change people dread yet badly need. You will understand the truth, and it will set you free. John 832. Consider a lighthouse standing steadfast amid the storm. Its brightness pierces through the pandemonium. The waves crash. However, the beacon does not waver. This is you, their warped picture of you like a storm, loud, chaotic, and transient. But your truth, like the sun, is unwavering. As their illusions disintegrate, they confront the consequences of their actions. Stand firm, apart from their mess, and keep shining. Their fall will have no effect on your clarity or rise. No weapon made against you will flourish, and you will condemn every mouth that rises against you in judgment. Isaiah 54:17. Picture a tree in a storm. The wind howls, and the branches bow, yet the roots remain solid. The storm cannot dislodge what is firmly rooted, and even after the winds pass, the tree remains stronger than before. This is you, attempting to break your tranquility. I admire how the storm is loud, chaotic, yet ultimately impotent against the basis of your truth. Someone may return with carefully selected words and a tone of contrition, but their actions expose the reality. Beneath their polished apologies, the same patterns challenging limits are slightly modified. These are not fresh leaves. They're old behaviors camouflaged to avoid confrontation. Spirit removes what no longer serves you. Calls fade. Messages remain unanswered, and their presence fades. This is not a loss. It provides protection. Their absence makes room for what is aligned with your mission. Do not associate their removal with failure. It's a heavenly redirection. Their energy no longer corresponds to your frequency, and clinging to it will only drag you down. Trust the process. Continue pushing ahead. This clarity has given you an unwavering sense of strength. The universe's rules guarantee that every action returns to its source, magnified and unequivocal. Those that impede your progress plant seeds of their own making. Their efforts, whether direct or disguised, were reflected back to them with unwavering accuracy. This is not revenge. Rather, it is equilibrium. Their desperation may cause them to re-emerge, disguised in familiar gestures or feigned sorrow, but discernment keeps you in the clear. Their apologies are not bridges that can be rebuilt. They are tools for regaining control. Allow remorse and nostalgia to go away. They are not yours to carry. Your energy is precious. Your mission is critical. Engaging in their pandemonium simply takes away from the beauty of your ascension. Allow them to deal with the repercussions of their acts while you continue on your path, unaffected and purposeful. Every stride you take validates your resilience, clarity, and the indisputable strength of your quest. You are the tree that survives after the storm, rooted in truth, ascending to the light. The light beams in the dark, and the darkness has not overwhelmed it. John 1 verse 5. Imagine a flame in a big, dark room. The shadows stretch and twist, attempting to engulf it, but the light remains constant and persistent. This is you. Your truth shines through, exposing every deception. They attempted to conceal their disarray, but it could not extinguish your clarity, and their acts would only come back to haunt them. Magnified. Be solid in your aim. The light inside you is more powerful than any shade they can throw. The changes in their environment are not yours to navigate or fix. Their attempts to invade your space, disguised as bogus apologies or pretended vulnerability, are desperate attempts to reclaim control. These overtures are traps, not bridges, meant to draw you back into the turmoil you've fled. These invasions must be recognized for what they are and addressed with clarity and judgment. Their remorse is not your problem, and their acts simply exacerbate the karmic cycles they must suffer. Your strength comes in your concentration, unwillingness to waver, and unwavering commitment. Allow them to face the repercussions of their decisions while you move ahead. You owe them no explanation, no forgiveness, and no energy. Their demise is inevitable. Their meddling is untenable. As the global balance maintains the rules, they opted to disobey them, ensuring that your ascent is inexorable, a testimonial to your alignment and the light you carry. Declare it boldly. Your truth creates reality, and your path motivates change. No power can darken your light or prevent your rise. The hurdles you overcame just strengthened your determination and increased your frequency. Now is the moment to go ahead purposefully, knowing that the cosmos is aligned with your path. You are not just climbing. You are becoming unstoppable, untouchable, and unmistakable. Let your presence guide the path as you recapture the story. Step into your power and inspire the world with your irrepressible brightness.